Let's go. I am enough, you are enough. No more self-doubt, I know we are the rubber that pull myself out. Fuck feeling stuck. Away guys, and welcome to my second episode of When Men Heal. My guest today is a friend of mine. Jeronimo, he's from Colombia, so away. Welcome, brother.
Thank you for having me here.
Away.
Good to see you, great to chat with you. So now that you have this little venture going, I'm glad to be part of it.
Thank you. And I was thinking I have to get you on because you guys are leaving.
Yes.
You guys are going back to Colombia.
Yeah, 23 years since I've been, 26 years since I left Colombia.
Okay.
Originally. I left when I was 19 years old.
Sure. So you just finished school when you...
Yeah, 18 years old more or less I left. I traveled Europe and back to America for a while.
Yeah.
Then I came to South Africa.
Okay, cool.
So it's been quite a journey, It's been quite a journey.
And in Colombia, where are you from?
I'm from Medellin.
The famous Medellin.
From Medellin, Colombia,
Oh, yeah.
Obviously people know Medellin probably for the wrong stories, so for the infamous stories of the cartel, but it's beyond that. That's already in the past. That brought a lot of suffering to many people, and it's something that definitely we don't want to repeat.
During that time, you were there when a lot of this was happening, eh?
Yes, I was there because that was during the 80s and the beginning of the 90s. So that I was definitely there, and I was in Medellin, and we used to live in Envigado, which is where was one of the epicenters of the cartel and so on. So there was a lot of action happening, a lot of traumatic kind of circumstances for me and for a lot of the people in Medellin, most of the people at that time, because it was all over the show. The fear was in the air, so it was quite tense, like a modern Wild West.
What was your reasons for leaving?
Yeah, basically that was the reason, the negative energy that was built to that point in time. Around, obviously there's always some positive as well, but the negative was getting stronger because of the circumstances and the way that we start believing the way of life should be. And because the example he set is quite limited to that, or to those ways of seeing life, and if not the opposite side, which is the fear of it. So it was a moment where already I had some beliefs that I grew up with, which I didn't realize till later in life that weren't the right beliefs for one to develop as of all what you see and all of those, without going in specific, stories. But as a general thing, one grows with, or one develops a specific belief that you don't realize then. But if you look into working into yourself later, then you will realize, or I came to realize the beliefs that I had of life in terms of self-worth, or what is self-worth, or how that you show to other people self-worth into yourself, and all these things. So these beliefs are learned from society depending on your circumstances, where you brought up and what kind of family. So the example is very important. So at that moment my example wasn't great, so I questioned it, and I was also feeling that I was being misguided by this way of seeing life. So I said, no, I'm just going to leave behind everything, go look for a new way of seeing life, or go for an adventure. I didn't even look back. I got support from my family just for the first kind of trip, and then I started looking for my ways in the different places I was.
So you would say you were quite, if we say the wrong path.
Very rebellious, I was in, how can I say, with bad companies a lot. Also had very good friends that uplift me in that, but then I also started like going into trends that I knew were destructive for me and that I had to just leave behind.
How did that happen? That moment of like, I'm making the decision, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, it was a set of factors that happened that made me make the decision. There was a few things happening at that time, and it was a trigger. Could I say, like, I got closer to death than I wanted to, in a way, because of being with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And getting influenced in the wrong way.
Yeah.
So from there I realized how easy it is to slip life up.
Yeah.
And then I said, no, I need to go look for something greater. And I remember at that time I asked like to the universe, to God Almighty. Then I asked like to guide me where I needed to go, and all this kind of unfolded in that direction, to just go out of those circumstances and look for a new environment so I can build myself. Sometimes, yes, it all depends on you, but also the environment is very important. It's like if you have a plant and you don't water it, you don't give sun to it, or it's not in the right place, that plant is going to die. Even if it's the most beautiful plant or has the most delicious fruits, but if it's in the wrong place and it's not getting the water it needs and the nutrients, it's gonna die. So both are important. What you do for yourself and who you are, and also the environment you grow in. For some people, it's harder to realize than others that you in an environment that is not nourishing you. But if one comes to realize, there's always a chance to break through gradually, sometimes suddenly. But even if it's gradually, at least if you're conscious or you're aware of that environment that is misnourishing you, not giving you what you need, then one needs to make some sort of action to gradually change it. If not suddenly, some people have the way to do it suddenly or more drastically, like maybe I did because I left completely the place. Some people might not do, but there's always a way to even do it gradually. Sometimes you will be in you can have the craziest potential, whatever, but if you're not in the place that is not nourishing it and is not building it, and it's just actually making it more like hidden and non-existent in your life, even though it's there.
You gotta want to do it, eh? You gotta, because that willpower of like making the decision, you gotta want to do it. Otherwise, you just stay in that comfort zone of that loop. In that loop, I think that is one of the things. You're speaking like this now, that was really cool. I think the first time we met, when we spoke, we just went on a journey of speaking about so many things in life, you know. And I think, ever since then, our friendship grew, and we've had lots of conversations about just life and in general, you know, and the paths that we've chosen. And I really appreciate that, because I feel like we can have those deeper conversations, you know. It's not just about meeting up, going out, doing fun things. Yes, we do that as well, but we can also just sit like this and have those deeper conversations. And actually I walk away feeling like I've been there's healing that's been happening, you know. Like I feel lighter, I feel more energized, I feel you know, every time we sat down and had a conversation, there's something that always stayed with me when we've hung out.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because I also felt the same connection, and I think it's all about that deep connection where we really experience ourselves as humans, not just as objective persons. Like I use you for something, you use me for something, or a transaction, or just a party, even, you know. which is okay, you know. Sometimes we need that sort of connection at that level, but when it goes deeper than that, it's a real experience of humanity, I say, because you get to really go beyond the everyday kind of program, if you put it that way, and you go deeper into now seeing that there is a platform within ourselves that is greater than just the day-by-day routines, you know. And I think that it takes certain kind of people that is compatible to find that.
One day when we were chilling here by us, I remember we were talking about, you were saying you were very honest now about when you meet someone, like, is this a relationship, like a friendship, or is this business, you know? And you like to have clarity on that, you know. And it stuck with me, because I was going through something where I was trying to do different things besides my career, you know, and I was meeting up with this person where I was like going to start something with, but that never ended up happening. And what you said to me was like, it came back to me, because I think I'm always like, not looking for, but when I connect with someone, I like to build on that friendship, you know, and I have to learn to differentiate that the other person is not sometimes looking for that. They're just looking at it like, this is for business, you know. But then I realized, okay, I'm seeing it different to what this person is seeing it. And it like gradually, the conversation just stopped, and I was like, okay. But for me, the lesson I took out of it, because I was so excited to start something new, the lesson I took out of it was like, what you said, is it a friendship? Are we building on this? Or is it purely business? Because at the end of the day, that also helps you to gauge.
Yes, exactly. I need to distinguish, and obviously there's some shades there. It's not everything black and white, because but there must be a difference between the moments where you're friendly and the moments where you're really friends. Because you must be friendly with people if you want to engage and connect, even at the business level. You need to be at least, you know, kind and friendly and respectful, you know. If you're rude, you might get away with some things, but it's not the same when you sit with someone that even is not your friend, but is treating you like a friend, but it's for another reason, which can be business or whatever. Then if it's clear, then you know what the journey of that connection is. Even within, say, someone that's truly your friend, but say you're doing a business together, eventually comes out, then when that business is happening, it needs to be taken as a business, not to involve the friendship within that time and space. Even within a friendship, you see. So I think it's more about that time and space. What's the purpose of it? To not mix it, or because I'm your friend, then give me a bit of leverage in the business side, or because the other way, give me a bit of, because I'm business, give me leverage as friend. So that shouldn't be confused, because that's when then things become shady and problems can start, because are not clear and it's not transparent what's the purpose of the engagement.
Another level that we connected on was our love for music and our love for hip hop, but I won't call myself like a hip hop head like you. You are like, I was so impressed that you freestyle in Spanish and English. I was like, wow. I can't even properly freestyle in English or in Afrikaans. How did that music journey, where did that start for you?
Sure, that started quite a while ago. Like say when I was 15, 16, I was introduced to the hip hop from New York and Los Angeles, or the West Coast and the East Coast, but I prefer the East Coast side. So I was introduced to it by a guy he was a Colombian, but one of his parents was American, so he used to travel to New York. So he brought these tapes, you know, the old cassette, and he gave it to me, like, check this shit out, and then there was like all the Wu-Tang, Nas, you know, Fat Joe, all the like the old school 90s like hip hop artists, and I was just amazed by that. I remember me and my brother, we had a Beetle, those Volkswagen Beetles that we got as a present. Not an old one, like models 60 something, you know, and but it was still going, and we put like a nice system with me, like a nice speakers and everything, to pump that hip hop there. And then I got into it. I met another friend of mine who's a producer nowadays, you know, Ignorancia Sofisticada is his like producer name, and he was a very good friend of mine. And then I remember that we started just freestyling in his car while we traveling, like road trip or something. We just put some beats, or even over beats that had lyrics, and we started like just saying words, and then he said like, just talk about anything, just try to flow, and he kind of got me into it, and we practiced again, and then it just sit in. And when I was on my own, I just started rapping on my own, and never too much rapping. It was more the freestyle, like rapping on my own and just talking whatever nonsense. And then it started becoming more structure within me, like what I want to say and how I want to say it, and without wanting me to be a rapper, like per se, I'm going to be a musician, rapper, whatever. But I enjoy it. I'm going to use it in my life, and it's something that helps me to heal.
That was my next question. How did it help you?
Gets you that space to release yourself, to also have fun, to be in a moment where you're in the zone, like they say, like you're in that present. So it has a lot of qualities that obviously it depends where you take it. It can also become destructive because remember, the word is so powerful, and if one is just rapping about negative energy, whatever it is that you say, it eventually is going to build up also on you. So I need to be careful of that, and that's why I started kind of filtering what hip hop I listened to. So I started leaving more behind the violent one, which I respect and I enjoyed at that time. But then I realized how much it built me up also when it was too angry. You see, so then I said, no, this is giving me another energy. I need to filter that into something that gives me something more elevating, more refreshing. And that's the kind of music that I also want to do more. Music that is more light for your energy, not so heavy. Even though sometimes it's okay to listen that, but you know, when you listen a lot of it, it will definitely influence you in a way that you might not be aware, but you feel emotional. You don't know why.
Oh yeah, it goes by Hieroglyphico. So check it out on Spotify.
So when I got here to Cape Town, I was, you know, on the freestyling vibes all the time, and I started meeting like the freestylers from Cape Town, and then the local hip hop scene, you know, at the time there was quite a good.
What year was that?
That was the 2005, somewhere there.
Okay.
So hip hop was very still underground in Cape Town. There was a lot of open mic sessions. In Cape Town. So I remember I was just starting to English rapping. So there's this place called the Open Theater, Open Chair, something like that. In OBS.
They still exist, I think.
Oh, they're still going. They've been for ages since I came here. So I was brave enough to go there to the open mic session.
Okay.
I was with a friend in OBS walking. There was this open mic session, and I went in. I started looking, and then there was no one coming out, and I went out, and I was just like trying to freestyle in English, but I was trying, you know, but I didn't make sense at all. Then I went into Spanish. And people are like, no, but English wouldn't understand, and they started like kind of booing me or challenging me.
So you had an actual boo moment.
I had a bit of that, and then actually kind of centered myself and went very slowly and did more of a slow thought like English, but without trying to rap it but I did it more slow, like I could think, and it kind of came okay, you know, and then people kind of. From the boo went back to like, okay, cool, like he's trying to say something, and so that was like my first experience like with people, and then I started practicing more on my own and meeting like the rappers here in Cape Town, like and freestyling with them in different events, or sometimes in just like hip hop art parties, and it was like quite a cool experience, you know, because they remember there was like these dudes that are actually they used to record at the time and have their own CDs and stuff, like the Dark Lords and Garlic Brown was a good friend of mine. And there was this dude Ben Sharper, and like there was quite a few good talents at that time that they had already recording things going on. So I used to look up to them, like, oh wow, like I want to also record one day and get my track going. The first experience of recording, actually I felt used because they just used me to put Spanish on it, but they never gave me nothing out of the track, or I didn't even get the final product or something. And the guys actually were producing like big music and making bucks with. But anyhow, then that I started like just like meeting people, practicing. And then one day I was walking in Long Street, and I was walking like in one of those streets off Long Street, and I heard like some drums playing and like some like hip hop kind of beat going, and I was like, oh, what's going on there? And then I followed the music. I went at that building, and there was a studio there. Yeah. And there was this guys playing like as a band. It was guys like a drummer, bassist, a guitarist. They were playing like the sickest hip hop like beats live that like so well. And they were auditioning for a singer. Okay. And then I was looking through to the door. I didn't know nothing about it. There was this girl that was supposed to audition, and she standing on the mic. I saw her when she went on, and the guy said like, just follow us and see if you can match. And the lady standing there, but it went like 10 minutes by, 15 minutes by, and she didn't say a word. And I was like, running myself the desperate, and I just went and I grabbed the mic from in front of her. I just went in the room, I would grab the mic, and she was looking at me like that, and I started rapping there. And I swear, we played for 2.5, 3 hours from there non-stop, just freestyling and going, and the lady just left because she just went there. And then the guys are like, cool, you are the guy. Let's then start setting like practices and shows, and so we had like a 5-piece band, and a DJ joined us, and then we played like a few shows, and we started doing like hip hop with rock. So then I went with this band with others, but on my own I did hip hop interno with different producers, different beats, and basically hip hop interno came from my journey to express my journey with the philosophy that I've learned from martial arts, because I'm a martial artist. For many years I came to Cape Town and I met a Tai Chi Kung Fu master, Dr. Jeff Lam, which is like my mentor.
So to cut you, before that, were you doing martial arts as well?
Yeah, before that I was in Colombia.
Oh, okay.
Different type of martial arts, like not more on the Chinese side, but more like Taekwondo and Korean martial arts. But then when I met this guy, I knew he was like a authentic, like traditional teacher, and I followed him like from the beginning until now, and through that I've learned so much about life. It's a way to see life that is very simple compared to the complex way we see life. But to get to that simplicity of seeing life that way, one needs to work a lot of elements within oneself to get to that simplicity. So through hip hop interno, it comes from the internal work. That's why it's called internal. So there's external martial arts, which is more the kick punch kind of vibe, but then you have the internal martial arts. It's when you learn about your internal energies and your internal emotions, elements, your internal the components, put it that way, your mind, your virtues, your consciousness, so all of this is the internal work that one kind of sort of aligning. So hip hop interno was kind of a expression of that internal work that I've been doing to understand myself and the universe around me. That's why it's called hip hop interno, and the cover is like a panda, Kung Fu Panda kind of character, which is like my nickname. My teacher calls me Panda.
Your teacher,
my Kung Fu teacher. That's like my totem kind of. Totemic animal, or like spirit animal, put it that way. So through that martial arts understanding of life, then I try to put that into well, at least part of that, because it's very vast to just express it in one album, but to put it through that philosophy through these songs. So that's where the meaning of hip hop interno means. And now this new album that's called Resilience for the Billions, which is more like not so much on the so much philosophy side, but more on the, how can I say, how I apply myself with that philosophy. It's like a step forward, because it takes a lot of resilience to overcome or to learn about yourself. Because like in martial arts, he said, oneself is your worst enemy, or you are your worst enemy. Because we can destroy ourselves so quickly, because ignorance is one, and because we don't have the guidance is two, and because of like we said, circumstances are not feeding us, nourishing us, so we tend to learn to destroy ourselves and to become, to auto-sabotage and all of that. So that's my journey, because I'm very part of that experience of being my own worst enemy.
I feel like with myself as well, I've internalized a lot of things, you know, and that's where my own worst enemy also came from, my realization of that, because I'm very, very hard on myself. One of the things that popped up for me was like, I needed to be gentle with myself. Like, for example, I read this article once that it's a lady that actually wrote about it, that spoke about the way boys and girls are raised. So, for example, if a girl falls, little girl falls, you pick her up, you comfort her, you let her cry until she's cried out, and you know, but you give her space and time to come out of it. With boys, it's like, come on, you're a man. Why are you crying? So she said the topic of the article was something like why men would destroy everything that worked for in the moment, right? So she says that the studies like that build up of not letting the boys cry, of letting them express how they feel, that kind of builds up, and as adults, men could just fuck up everything in a moment's time.
Exactly, because you know it's all about learning about ourselves and about our own emotions, and I think it's like babies will express themselves at that moment, but it's spontaneous, but it's full. Like they'll cry with everything, but it's just 5 minutes, they cry, they give it all, but they release it, they don't keep nothing in. But ourselves, we just release little bits, and we keep most of it inside, because we've been taught to act on that everything is cool, that everything is fine, that you're strong, that you can carry the world, you know. That's the trend. It's like most of it is trapped and only release like the surface of it. But one needs to learn how to release it all in less time. Not to be violent or not to be aggressive, but to do it in a way that's healthy and in a healthy environment. And it doesn't have to be with anger. It must just be conscious of what you say and express your emotion, but it is not really hurting the other person. It's just trying to give a picture of why you're feeling like that. But sometimes we take it for granted that the other person is gonna know why we are pissed off.
Especially with our partners,
especially
with our family, because we feel like they know us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's like they should know why I'm pissed off. But sometimes people is not like mediums. You know, you need to explain them why. But to explain them, if you scream, they definitely not gonna understand. No one is gonna understand someone screaming to you why they feel like that. Or you might get a fraction of it, but it's different when someone really explains you why they feel like that in a way that connects with you. So the emotion is released, but in a subtle way. Sometimes it needs to be released more drastically. Then you find a way. You do it in a conscious way. Where I need to punch her back now. I need a scream, or I need a cold shower, or something. But you know you're not directing it to the person that doesn't have to get it at that moment.
I read this book, Cry Like a Man, Jason Wilson. One of the examples that I love that it gives there, it says, you know, when men get upset, say two friends or two men are upset about something, And if I come to you and I say, you know what, fuck you, so you could respond in the same way, and that could become a fight. But if I come to you and I say, Jero, can I talk to you for a moment, and can we just step aside? You know what you said now, what you did, I didn't like that, it hurt me, so I'd appreciate if you don't do that. That diffuses a lot. That your reaction is going to be totally different.
That's the power of proper communication, because then the information goes through and can be digested, analyzed, and understood into a deeper level than if just like vomited on you. But also in the other side of the coin, also we as humans, we take things too personal. And that's something that it took me a while to learn, because sometimes someone they are a certain way and they go around being how they are with everybody, but one thinks they're just being like that with you, and just with you, but it's because we're taking a person, but that person is like that. They are talk rude, they do this, they do that, or whatever. And they might not be comfortable to be with, but one needs to distinguish that it's not doing it to you. They're just like that, and you need to learn how to kind of reflect those kinds of energies when they're around you.
It's so difficult.
And it's not easy, but it is possible if we understand the right way of perception of it. Because sometimes, we take people personal. Obviously some things are more direct. If it's directed to you, you're going to think, obviously, here is someone really going for you. But in most of cases, like in the normal life, it's just people being themselves. We take it too personal.
But to also be able to do that, you also, to not be triggered by it. Like, there was a time, for example, when I was around people that knew what they wanted, it came across to me as arrogance. Alright? But as I grew older, dare I say wiser, I started realizing what I like and what I don't like, and the power of saying no to certain things. Right? And then I started understanding, I didn't like you because I didn't know what I wanted to. I wasn't at that place where I could tell, no, it's just you standing for what you're standing for, and that's it. Because there's also a way of doing it. There's a way of standing for something very aggressively, and there's a calmer way of standing for the same thing. And each to their own of how, because that depends on your personality. But that also took time to learn. It's like as you go through life and as you become older, you become more comfortable in who you are.
Exactly. And the less you take it personal, the easier you can express it in that, say, specific way, like you said, non-aggressive way. Because the moment we take it more like personal, we're gonna be more aggressive, because it's the way. But the same issue can be addressed both ways. Obviously, the one way is gonna be more harmonious, the other way might be more forceful, or it might create another turmoil. But that is the thing, how we react to people and things. It depends on how we are reflecting ourselves on them. So we actually, the other person might be really bad or whatever, but we actually, the more we see that, or we project, we reflect that on them, that energy, the more we're going to give it power over ourselves to get controlled by it. That's why the more neutral we are, the better. It doesn't mean we have to stay quiet and not stand. We still need to stand for ourselves, for what we believe in, for what but it must be in a way that it is neutral and powerful, not like emotional and just all scattered everywhere, and then you just collateral damage all over.
I'm just thinking now about the time we did the 21-day fast together, and it was so cool that you jumped on board. So with the 21-day fast, I usually give up something that was based on the Daniel fast, where they didn't eat meat before they went into battle. I think that's it. But I started changing it up because I saw there was different things in my life that was starting to take control. Sometimes it's social media, sometimes it's drinking, sometimes it's smoking weed, sometimes it's just being fucking lazy or watching too much TV. But I have to say that after all the times that I've done it, this time around, doing it this year and having you on board, we were checking in with each other the whole time, and I feel that the way I came out of this fast was really different to the ones before. I wasn't doing it alone.
Yeah, that gave a lot of power to it.
You know,
because I jumped in because at the moment I also needed it just to give me a break, like especially beer for my liver. I love beer, so
I could drink beer every day.
So I said like no, I'm gonna join it because I also need it now, and I needed that support. And it came when in the right time, and you say like at that time, and then also it was beautiful to just like be free in that moment of on anything that you are to attach to it, and I'll actually realize myself that I can't be happy without it.
Yeah,
I'm drinking again beer, but now I know that I can be happy without it, and I'm not drinking as much as I was drinking then. But I know that, and that gave me another power, because it just becomes part of your life. So it's like you're drinking cool drink, you know. But obviously it has some degrees of alcohol. It's going to affect you, you in the long term. But obviously it depends. I wasn't drinking like the whole case, but I was drinking like a couple of beers almost daily. So I don't like to get drunk to lose my consciousness. I don't like to know. I can drink something, but I don't go to a point I lose my consciousness. You know, I did it before when I was young. With those days that you get home and you don't know how you drove home, and
every time you say I'm not gonna
you keep doing it. So I had a few like a couple of experiences that were quite freaky, because I forgot about it. I said no, I can't go there. So now if I drink, it's like I know where's my limit to stay. My limit before my limit, because when it mustn't be your last limit, it must be your limit where you still like yourself, because that's also one of the dangers of drinking, other than the intoxication itself, is your behavior. How it alters the behavior, especially for some people more than others. If you don't know yourself well, it's gonna alter your behavior big time, and you're gonna mess up a lot of things, you know. So that's the dangers of it. So it's all about understanding balance. You see, it's not about being wrong or right, or being moral or not because you drink or not, or whatever. Everyone to their own, to that whatever they enjoy. But it's all about learning through that experience to find what's your balance, and what we call internal kung fu is the yin and yang, you know. How to distinguish what's your yin, what's your yang, and how to bring them together slowly, gradually. It's not a sudden thing like I must become a vegetarian tomorrow. No, it's a gradual thing. Sometimes you will hurt yourself, but as long as you're conscious that you're hurting yourself and how you're doing it, you're gonna develop a new consciousness on how to balance yourself, and how to gradually move towards that balance more and more, so it doesn't affect you as much, and you can keep the health, which is the primary thing, the mental health and the physical health. That's what I'm learning now, but I think it's a long journey, because before it used to alter my behavior, which I think is a big jump, you know, on how we do things. It's not always what we do, but how we do it. What level of consciousness is in there.
How do you feel now that you guys are leaving? We have to talk about this, although I don't want to. It's like less than a month.
One is that is meant to be. One is also like something that I wouldn't say I need because of the need place, but it's something that I need to reconnect with. Because obviously I left quite young, and there was a lot of circumstances that also in the family that I wasn't really sharing too much with my family. It was a bit of an isolated kind of planet within that galaxy there. But I was like on my own journey, and I never really connected with them. So there's a part of my root that's lacking there from that time. And my parents also getting older now. Most of my family is there. And my old friends, and so I kind of disconnected quite aggressively out of, because I'm not in America or somewhere 1 hour quickly go. I'm in the other side of the world, in Africa. So the distance becomes even more vast, or the disconnection, or it becomes a bit less more impersonal, because it's not like I can travel there too often.
And I mean, when you do visit or they visit, it's not a long.
It's like a short time just to enjoy.
Go so quickly because you want to do things.
And you'll do fun things. You won't really get into the
Did you also feel like you sit there, you want to talk, but it's not.
It's not that time, because you're still in that enjoying and meeting and lunches and going to visit sites or whatever together. But that lasts a month. After that, then it starts becoming more like, and that's what I need to experience now with my It might not be that easy, but I need to go to that, because I never had that back in the day. It was always like, I'm on my own, like in my own thing, always with my friends, sleeping outside of home, or if I was at home, my mother wasn't there, or my father wasn't there, so I was alone most of the time. So I was very like in my own law, like living the life like la vida loca at that time. So that disconnect that made me connect with what I'm now, but now I need to go back to now nourish that part of myself. But I can't wait also too long. I need to now also kind of connect with my parents, help them to take care more of them, and because I feel it's a part that I need to invest on it now, and then take what I've learned here and take it there and share it there. Say my martial arts and the healing, which goes with the martial arts, which is the Chinese healing, that I've been learning with my mentor. So I want to also take back that, and also carry on with the music as an instrument. I'm not saying like I'm just going to put it there, because my main gift is the healing, and what I've learned through the martial arts and the Chinese medicine or healing, and that's what I want to put my full energy in it, and then take it to back there. So I think it's a whole cycle that needs to kind of go back. I don't know if you read the book The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. Must read that.
I've heard about it.
So basically, long story short, the guy goes from somewhere, he goes all over to come back to that somewhere. The goal is the same place where he started. That's also like what I'm trying to say. Yes, sometimes you leave and you change circumstances to help you to know yourself, but sometimes we don't need to go far to find ourselves. Ourselves is always there.
I do these gratitude walks where I put my earphones in, some of my favorite music or no music I just listen to, and I just go give thanks to the Most High for the fact that I can walk, that I can see, that I can hear, because I feel like in those moments of stillness and breathing, that's also something that we kind of shy away from, because life is so busy, man. Everything is by the touch of a button, everything is so accessible that people are scared to just sit alone, even just for 5 minutes. I think people also think meditation is not thinking of anything, or prayer is you're always having to say something. But it can also just be a walk, because my mom is like she's a prayer warrior. She's one of those people, and I remember she would get up like 5 o'clock every morning and pray, and I used to, at some point I tried to do it with her, and I would just fall asleep again. But I realized as I got older, that is her gift. She's one of the prayer warriors. You know what I mean? You need people like that as well, And I was like, that doesn't work for me. I'm someone that, if I think about something now, I pray about it. Because I've always been one that's like, if I see something that is scratching and it's not letting me sleep, I go and investigate. I want to know, what is this? Where does it come from? How? Which is good, but it's also bad, because sometimes I need to just learn to relax.
And that's where it goes, because relaxation is the first step actually before meditation. Meditation, people think it's just for monks to sitting in in a cave and meditate, or like you said, to leaving things blank. But it's more than that. Meditation is actually something that we receive actually from the earth itself. Is a sort of vibration we receive from the earth. But before we receive that vibration at any level, we need to relax. We need to learn relaxation. So the more one relaxing to something, then it starts becoming meditation. So it can be anything. It can be washing the dishes, like you say, walking, whatever. But you need to relax in nothing to it.
Like becoming present.
For it to kick in and give you that flow energy that comes actually from the earth, because you're relaxing your energy so much into the earth, whatever you're doing, that then it kicks back that vibration into you, that starts then filling you. And that's why the breath is so important within, to gain that relaxation. Because if your breath is very shallow, it's going to be harder to relax than obviously to meditate. And then actually there's another step that happens, is cultivate. So there's relaxation, then you meditate, then you cultivate. When actually we can store this cosmic energy within ourselves, because we're relaxing now into the earth. And that's where comes the practice of internal martial arts, of Tai Chi and Qigong. That's why Tai Chi is so slow, so it can teach you to discard your physical without losing your structure, for the energy of the earth to kick back into you, and gives you that energy without effort. Then one can learn how to conserve energy and how to heal oneself at a higher level, and others also. So it is a topic that needs more to be more profound, because meditation is a very vague word. For different people can mean different things. There's different kinds of meditations, and there's different interpretations of it. But at least that from my experience, or how I've seen it through the many years that I've been doing it, how it kind of evolves. It has a whole system to it. So, and it can even, if one also pushes it in the wrong way, that one becomes obsessed, it also can destroy you, If one becomes obsessed with gaining enlightenment or gaining a certain wisdom or something, then it can also kick back to you. So it is quite a delicate concept that needs to be looked deeper in, and not to be thinking that it's only for monks. No, it's for every human in the earth, because it's something that resonates with the place we live in and with the place we have above, and how the two resonate, from whatever is there to underneath. That's what brings meditation, is that resonance, and that's why the monks keep on doing it, because it makes it stronger all the time. But it doesn't limit that for monks, it's for humans, especially with this busy life that we overstimulated the senses. And the more we stimulate the senses, more compulsive we become. We get full of compulsions, and sometimes we find ourselves doing things out of the blue because
I'm doing that now. I'm doing that. I'm trying to not be. I fall into this trap of getting onto social media every time and just scroll.
It's automatic. It's like a compulsion.
You know what I mean? And I know that I'm doing it. I see that I'm doing it, and I ask myself, why am I doing this? But I keep doing it.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the?
And you keep sending me reels. I don't catch up with them. So that's the thing, we fall into this compulsion. So it's important to look at that, because it escalates. If one is not a check, so one needs to overcome them with other activities that give you the opposite, that give you more self-attention, no attention in something outside yourself, but in within you. So we need to balance that out, because otherwise our behavior is gonna become something that we're not gonna like, because we're always gonna be like on the that's what is called excited nervous system. It's overexcited. So a radiation of just the screen and the electronic things that excites our nervous system a lot, and that generates, or is the cause of many complications. Further, different for different people, but will bring along imbalances and diseases.
I can feel it as well. Like if I haven't paid attention to my phone, if I consciously do that, like sometimes, like I said with my 21-day fast, I'll give up my phone or the social media thing, and I can feel when I go back to it, my body just starting to feel like it feels a bit anxious. Like I feel this buzz, And I took note of it, and at some point, you're just in it again. And I hate that happens, man. But I know what you're talking about. You only realize it when you give the thing a break. Okay. That's why I do the fast. Like, I'll sit down in my life and see what is taking a lot of time that is not such a healthy habit, you know. And then I'll give that thing a break. And when I reintroduce it, then I'm more sober, conscious-minded to feel what it's doing to my body. And then but once you're in it and you're just not paying attention to it, you won't
even notice. That's why it's important to relax a bit so you can start becoming aware of what's happening inside. That's why we need to be more conscious of, or more connected with ourselves, and not for anyone's gain, just for our gain. And if we have all that, then we can give more of that, you know, of that relaxation. But now everyone is on the verge of explosion, you know. Everyone, when he's driving, road rage, you know, is on the bus. It just takes a little trigger to just fucking go off or even kill someone, or hurt someone, or just insult someone, or treat them bad, you know, depending on your scale of anger or build up. Chinese is called the yang energy is too much yang, because it's all that stimulation, that radiation going through our eyes from the screen and through our ears from all the news and all the food that we eat, and to contrast it with how is the opposite of that, feeling empty, feeling loose, feeling. So we need to go through that contrast until then we start choosing that. But that takes a whole learning. I'm laughing now because yesterday I had a moment. I was rushing somewhere, and I struggled to do the parking. And this lady came past and she said, "Where did you get your license?" But she thought I didn't hear her. So I was like, "Do you have the fucking license?" And afterwards I was like, why did I do that? Because I was rushing. I was, you know, I was like, that's not okay, Dad. And as I'm parking, I'm looking where she is, because I was like, I have to say sorry for that, but it was a moment of weakness. Anyway, is there any last words that you have, brother, for our men out there? The men, now that we're speaking more directly to them, is to be honest with oneself first of all, and if you acknowledge what's your problem, or what is making you feel uneasy or diseased or out of ease, you know, one need to be honest with oneself and start expressing that. And if one needs help, one need to ask for help. Don't let the pride swallow you because you're a man and you can take it all and you have to look manly. Don't worry, you're gonna look tough just for so long, but when that eats you inside, then you're gonna be as weak as it gets, because it's gonna eat you inside. So I think the most important is to acknowledge whatever problem it is that we have, to really face it, to really talk it, express it, look for help, call it for its name. Like we have a saying that we say, you can't cover all the sun just with one finger. You know, if there's something that is an issue, it must be addressed and it must be talked. It might take long. It might go through many layers of it, or many ups and downs. But there must be a starting point where you actually honest with oneself and say, I have this problem. I have to overcome it. I need guidance. I need help. First, ask the Almighty, or whatever your faith is, to guide you in that, and then you ask in your surroundings, find the help of the guidance. Can be a practice, can be a teacher, can be a therapy, you know, but you need to look for something that is going to actually start addressing that situation for one to start overcoming it. Otherwise, it's going to just keep eating, stress build. Then by the time one is in a later age, it's going to become diseases, problems, frustrations, etc. And that's something that I've learned through my own experience, and I think it's important to keep on addressing whatever problem we have all the times with your partner, with your friends,
with the people that you trust. Obviously, if there's someone that you don't trust, you don't want to tell them it's okay. You don't have to tell everybody, but at least find that guidance somewhere that you trust and that you feel is a healthy environment to express oneself. One need to, even if it doesn't exist, one need to build that environment where you can express and be honest with oneself what is going on inside, that it needs to be balanced, and it's not a one click solution. It might take years, it might take decades, but as long as you're advancing and you move, because sometimes it's old wounds, sometimes come very deep in trauma or very deep in past events, for some people more than others, but they need to be addressed from that honest point of view, and I think that's important.
Oh yeah, thank you for that, brother. So yeah, guys, that's another episode of When Men Heal. Please like, subscribe. If there's anything that resonated with you, comment. If there's anything you'd like me to talk about, to discuss, to touch on, let me know, and I can try and answer some questions or give my perspective on something. Brother, thank you, man.
No, thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you making the time and being here. I appreciate you. I love you. I honor you, and away.
Same for you.
Away.
I am enough, you are enough. No more self-doubt, I know we are the rubber that pull myself out. Fuck feeling stuck, I am enough. I am enough, you are enough. No more self-doubt, I know we are the rubber that pull myself out. Fuck feeling stuck, I am enough, I am enough. I feel the fire burning in my gut. We are not asking for much, we just want what is ours.